You're watching MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World. Chris Bryant, now a member of the Colorado Rockies, signing a gigantic 7-year, $182 million contract to apply his trade at Coors Field and call Denver home. $7 million signing bonus, and you see the numbers jumping up big time from the $17 million this season, and a full no-trade protection. The former Rookie of the Year, World Series champion, MVP, will now be off to the Colorado Rockies, and he cut off earlier with Fran Charles and Jon Heyman. Why Colorado?
Well, I feel like this is a place that has always been so nice to me and my family, and I've just really always enjoyed going to Denver. It's such an amazing city to raise a family. And, it was from the very beginning of this thing, they were on to me from the very get-go, and it's really nice to feel wanted like this.
Hey, Chris, Jon Heyman here. I watched the press conference. You looked so happy. I don't think I've ever seen anybody smile so much at a press conference. Would you say it was more about Denver, more about the Rockies, or, some would say maybe something about the contract as well? That's not a bad deal that you got.
Yeah, everything plays into it. And like I said yesterday, I always felt like every time we played Colorado, I felt like we always underestimated them. The pitching staff is always, like I said, I've never had a comfortable bat against a Colorado Rocky pitcher. There's so much velocity here. And, it is tough to be a pitcher in Coors Field. But I just feel like they're always overlooked. And, Bud Black as a manager, talking to him through our Zoom calls in the offseason, I just had a great feeling about him. And then, this all goes back, like Bill Schmidt said yesterday, 13 years. I mean, in high school, I remember sitting down with Bill and talking about the draft, and then scouting me through college. And, I played in so many scout ball tournaments in Denver. And, in the draft, I thought I was going to be picked, by the Rockies. So this goes back a long way, and it's kind of weird to see all this come full circle.
Chris Bryant is now back. Meantime, Kenley Jansen is leaving the Los Angeles Dodgers, going to the Atlanta Braves, who had a phenomenal bullpen en route to that World Series victory. Minter, Matson, Luke Jackson, and others. Now Jansen, the closer, 1 year, $60 million contract with Atlanta. A season ago, 2.22 ERA. That had been his best, John, since 2017. Yeah. The cutter was back, the velo specifically. Your reaction to the fact he leaves L.A. for Atlanta?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of surprising moves. This is a terrific reliever who had a very, very good year and really enhances an excellent bullpen. They were basically untouchable through the postseason with all those guys you mentioned, Jackson, Matzik, Will Smith, who now doesn't mind, now moving to the setup role generally. And Kenley has been one of the better closers in the game. I love what Atlanta is doing, and they had a great team to begin with. They won the World Series without Acuna and Ozuna and many others. To me, they're the favorite.
Yeah, even with losing Freddie Freeman, you obviously add Matt Olson. You hope he can have his production. And you're adding already to his strength in the bullpen. How about L.A.? They don't have $16 million to keep Kenley Jansen?
Well, they have a lot of money. Yeah, it's a good point. They just spent $162 million on Freeman, and they were pretty excited about that. They've got still a lot of arms in that pen. It's a little bit of a disappointment. Obviously, Kenley's pretty talented. Gratterall throws 100. Vesia was very good last year. Trinan looks like the closer right now. So, you can't have a perfect team even for $290 million, but you have a pretty darn good team there.
Yeah, I guess you're right. At the end of the day, Trinan could be the closer, but it seems a little bit surprising to me. Meantime, your tweet here involving the Twins are among teams still trying for one of Montas or Manaea. That's Frankie Montas or Sean Manaea. The A's available starters still expecting to be dealt. For all their moves, the Twins still need to fortify their rotation. Just think about MC Hammer right now. He's the biggest Oakland Athletics fan. And when it comes to this A's team right now, you can't touch this. Every single guy's gone, Olsen, Chapman, etc.
Yeah.
These starters are going to be moved, you believe?
Yes, I do. Certainly at least one of them, probably both. Montas has more value with 2 years to go than Manaea. Both excellent pitchers. This is taking a little longer. They kind of got rid of everybody else real quick. Olsen, that one shot Freeman and a bunch of other people, including myself. Kept moving and traded Chapman. They've done a lot so far. My understanding is they will move at least one of these two. I'm not sure what kind of rotation they will have, but, I don't think people are as upset about the A's doing it. They're kind of used to Oakland doing it and then coming back in a year or two and winning 90 games again. They've basically won 90-plus games in half the years over the past couple decades, despite, multiple fire sales. So, they can do it. The Cincinnati one is a little more unnerving to me. I think Oakland will be back in a year or two.
The numbers for each of these guys, Minaya and Montaz, both guys sub-4 ERAs, throw about 180 to 190 innings. You see the high strikeout per nine. Both those guys will certainly be coveted by other teams as Oakland, as you said. This is what they do. They average 96 wins the last 5 years, and all of a sudden they're going to be making some moves. All right, that's the story when it comes to Oakland. Their former manager, by the way, now in San Diego for our spring training road trip presented by Camping World at Padres Camp. Here's Greg Amster and Yonder Alonso with the aforementioned Bob Melvin.
Skipper of the Padres, which is still so weird to me. Skipper of the Padres, Bob Melvin. I mean, I look forward to going to Oakland camp and seeing you run things and you create such a good culture. How seamless has this transition been for you?
You know what? It's been great. I'm still learning names. We have a lot of guys in camp here and still learning the colors and look down and, see different things. But you know what? Sometimes it's just time. And, they've made some moves over there, too. So, the players have really made this easy for me.
Bob, the Tatis injury was a huge injury. Obviously, we know that. But moving forward, is the next guy up for you? And if so, who do you have in mind?
It's not about one. It's not about really 25 or 6. It's about 40 or 50. So you need to be an Army. And at this point in time, we'll take a hard look at Kim over there. We're going to look at Abrams, too. Those are the two guys I'm looking at right now, and they're going to get plenty of work.
How much fun is it for you to watch this division grow, but also getting a healthy guy like Clevenger?
Yeah, I'd like to not watch the division grow. It seems like, I went to American League West, and here comes Trout and Pujols and Ohtani, one after the other, and now it seems like this division's loading up. I've always said that the confidence the team gets starts with that starting pitcher that you run out on the mound, and everyone we run out there we're going to feel good about.
Now, I've always called you a culture creator. You had a great culture over in Oakland. How do you go about bringing that here to San Diego?
You know what? A lot of I get credit for that, but it really is the players, and it's the same group here. They're all about winning. This organization has grown to where they are right now. I try to create a good culture with the players and know I'm accessible. My door, I very rarely close my door. I don't like it closed, and I think that resonates with the players. So hopefully, it's a good fit here.
It's good to see you here in San Diego, Bob. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Still to come here on MLB Tonight. They went 1-2 in the 2012 draft. Up next, you'll hear from Byron's. We're lurking for Correa.
No, it's a shocker. There's no question about it. I mean, we heard the Twins with Trevor Story. They certainly were talking about Story. Once the price got a little high on Story, I mean, there are more teams now in on Story. He's going to do well. He's the last man standing among the infielders. They switched over. They felt the value was better on Correa, and they took the big plunge and
3 times stronger
took Correa
than a
with a
regular strength
record deal for
antiperspirant. Try it today at mycarpe.com with limited time free shipping.
Introducing the Oyo.
Majority of executives said that Correa would get the biggest deal and Seager would get the second biggest deal. I kind of doubted that because I felt Seager would get interest from the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Rangers. I wasn't sure where it was going to come from Correa other than Houston, and that's the way it turned out. And he was patient, and maybe that hurt him. I don't know. He was talking to the Tigers about a $275 million deal. They basically offered that to him before the lockout, and at that point, he thought he was worth $330 million or more and didn't take it. Maybe he'll regret it, maybe not. Now, he's got 2 opt-outs in his deal.
That's the key.
So, he may end up getting that $300 million deal. He's still only 27 years old next year, so may end up getting that $300 million deal next winter.
Look at that lineup now. Byron Buxton, who was in the MVP conversation before he got hurt, had that strained hip back in early May, but he was hitting 370, 1180 OPS his first 24 games. Arias, now Correa in the heart of that lineup. Polanco, Sano. A couple seasons ago, this team hit a ton of home runs, the Bomba squad, and then you're hoping for a bounce back from Gary Sanchez, some good defense from Gio Urshela coming from the Yankees. Do you think the Twins can reasonably push themselves back into the playoff mix?
Well, it's a very good lineup. I mean, Buxton healthy, that is huge. I like Urshela very much. I think Kirilloff is on the cusp of potential stardom. So I like this team a lot. Whether they can beat the White Sox, I'm not so sure. On paper, Chicago is better. But 6 teams make the playoffs. It's a terrific lineup. I do think they need another pitcher. They are talking to Oakland, potentially about either Montas or Manaea. If they get one of them, they'll look a lot better because right now they're a little thin in the rotation. That lineup looks good, though.
Agree with the pitching. They do have Sonny Gray, but Dylan Bundy, he'll hit and miss. Then you got Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, Randy Dobnak. You could do another of those arms. Like you said, either Montas or Manaea would definitely be an upgrade. It's interesting, too. Let's go circle back with the Twins, because you mentioned the 3 years, you get the highest AAV, average annual value. But we go back to your tweet about the Tigers, because to me, I'm thinking, I know he can opt out, John. I know he can get that money. But the Tigers, the fact they were offering 8 years, $270.
Yeah. And it was A.J. Hinch, a manager he was very familiar with.
This was a tweet you
at that point, he thought he could do better. I mean, he was predicted by most executives to be the highest paid guy.